Hello and welcome, you amazing person. My name is Rob. I'm a ManicGamingGuy, and today I bring you something special. This is going to be a video of me making my first ever mod. Just ever. Obviously I've made a few with automation and things like that, but we don't call them proper mods. This one is a proper mod. I've got into Blender, as you can see in the background me. Now starting my mod process. And then we do export this object that we make over to Unreal Engine, which we then do a little bit of fiddly-kidding around, and then we export it over to automation, which we can then mess around with in there and make it look beautiful. So yes, this is my first mod, so I do recommend not using this as a proper tutorial, but in this video we will be looking at most of the steps it takes, if not all the steps it takes, to produce your own mod if you fancy doing it yourself. I will try and also share along some links, like where I learned how to do it. I can't remember the guy's name, but we'll throw it up right now for you. And yes, well, you should have an idea of what the mod is, but just in case you didn't look at the thumbnail or read the title, here it is. Here's a picture of the mod in automation, and why not? We're throwing some others that it's taking me to get to this step. Like, it wasn't straight out there one go. This next clip that we're looking at is material list. You have to call all your materials these names or it won't work when you export it into automation. There's a little fun tip for you there. And what we're on to next. So obviously we're back into Blender, where we're going to be starting our 3D objects. Now what I've just done is I've gone to a startup file in Blender, copied over the materials into my own Blender, just so I'm ready to make the mod and assign materials straight away without having to make any new materials. You can see to the right there's a load of preset materials already made, so that was a very helpful thing to do. Now I do start this mod by making a backplate, which I am going to be making more of those soon as additional props for the mod I'm making, so you can do a bit of a mix and match and get the style that you like. That you will realise when we export this over to Unreal Engine, all the materials are crazy, it looks hideous, but you just got to remember you're only colouring things in Blender just to give you some sort of definition from one item to the next, and so you can sort of understand what it is. Like, at the end of the day, the colour don't matter, it's what it's called. And then when you export it into Unreal, you'll give it materials, but again, I haven't learned the materials properly that well, and it seems like they're a bit buggy. So when you export it to automation, you will have to do all the colouring in yourself. It's almost like I should just not even bother with some of the materials, but when you export the materials over from Unreal, it gives it some texture and some other UV things, I think, to make it look nice. So I export quite a lot of it as glass in this one because I wanted to have like almost a digital look to it. As you can see now, I'm duplicating several of the rings. We're using the mirror multiplier tool to save us some time and make sure it's symmetrical. I think at the moment now I'm making the MIDI dial ring around the outside, and that's going to give us a little bit of depth to the cluster, which I think does really pay off in the long run, when you'll see later on. Now we do have a lot of footage to get through, so I will be cutting some of it up and speeding some of it up, because it is not a tutorial. You do not need to see every step. It's just more of an incline, so you can know if you want to try it yourself or not, or at least just so you can see the hard work that we go through and the pain and suffering that we have to deal with when it comes to making mods for you beautiful people out there. If you are enjoying the music at the moment, do feel free to jump over to one of my other YouTube channels called Head Relaxing. If you're struggling to find it in the search engine, type in Head Relaxing Rob D. Rich, and also you can probably find a link in the description that would send you right over there, and you can listen to the music without me talking over it. do enjoy. And while you're over there, feel free to subscribe and hit some like buttons, because the channel's a bit dead at the moment because I've been working too much on this one and making mods and stuff. I do still make music in the background here and there, but it's been mostly drum and bass, which isn't always the best for a relaxing channel. Now you can see I'm just duplicating the same rings, and the reason I'm doing that is just so they end up exactly in the same place. Now there's other ways you can use blending, send it into the right coordinates, but I'm using this way, just the old duplicate way, and having everything separate at the time, so I can keep editing and changing and manipulating things until I'm very certain it's where I want it, and then it all gets flattened at the very end and then exported as one big material. And that's not a microwave, that's my phone. I always get a message when I'm trying to record, it always happens. So you'll find I'll be making a layer for glass, I'll be making a layer for, like, to reflect some light behind the glass in this one, and then I'm making a back layer to that as well, just so you can't see behind it, because obviously it's all glass, you don't want it all transparent, just in case, because obviously I'm not 100% sure what's going to be the outcome of some of this stuff, because each individual step is changed by each individual program that you take it to. Something might think it's glass and make it transparent or opaque or whatever, and then the next one might not, and then you've got to convert it back to it. So we do have those fun things to have to deal with. So we can see that the cluster is starting to take form now. We got some obvious dial locations. It's a good idea when it comes to making mods to have an idea already set in your head of what you're aiming for, what sort of style, what sort of look. At some point this almost looks like some sort of steampunk, which is quite cool. I didn't mind it, and then I sort of dialed it down a little bit. But you can also use a reference picture. So what I mean by that is jump over to the internet, type into Google some sort of clusters, and you'll find there's a lot out there for ideas. But you can also, if you can find one square enough and flat enough, you can copy the image over, put it into Blender, and use it as a reference to draw around, which I was doing on a previous one when I was testing out my Blender skills to see if I could even make a cluster. But this one I just, as you can see, freestyled it at the top of my head, which is okay if you sort of know what you're doing, you've got some sort of idea on the size and that, but probably not recommended if you're just freestyling it and you don't have an idea of what you want, because you might end up with some sort of shape that just doesn't even fit behind the steering wheel. If you're making a cluster, that is, you can use this technique that we're doing today to make any sort of mods. So maybe drop down in the comments if you've made it this far. What sort of mods should I work on? I'm thinking I do like working on the dashboard at the moment. Working on the fiddly stuff that takes more time in automation to make. I kind of want to make in Blender, and then I can just keep reusing my own parts, because the interior takes forever. I spend between 8 to 16 hours doing my automation cars. Sometimes the styling and the detailing is that insane. You can go crazy. And if you think that's a long time, you can go see my mate Soul. He makes some automation cars, but he tends to just make the whole body invisible and puts every panel on himself, and some of the cars he comes up with are stunning. Now, if you're not subscribed to the channel, you may not know that I also make BeamNG maps. I suppose you could call that a mod. I always find, because you can make it in the game, it's a bit drag and clicky, it's not technically modded, it's not really finished. So my first mod that's finished will be the cluster, because none of my maps are finished. They're all fun, but none of them are really finished. But anyway, if you're new to this channel and you've not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Maybe hit that subscribe button now, because I do bring you some fun things like automation cars that are finished and got working props. Like I am the guy that brought you pop-up headlights. I'm the guy that brought you... Well, I'm the guy who helped bring pop-up headlights. Let's put it. I'm not the sole person that did it. Philman showed me the code that did things. I went, hey, we can do pop-up headlights. I haven't brought you pop-up headlights. So I have, you know, I just instigated the procedure of making it finished and propped and, you know, gave you the code and that. I also brought you the haze shifter. Now that one was someone else who did it, but I kind of just tweaked it a little bit. But I made a nice little fun video for you about how to make a haze shifter in your car. We also got working headlights and weird stuff like that, and swinging dice from rear view mirrors. And when it comes to BeamNG maps, I am a UK themed kind of guy. So if you've been looking out for a UK themed map, maybe feel free to jump over to my Patreon and give some a download. So it looks like we've sorted our clusters out now in Blender. It's time to move on to the little dial things. I don't know what you'd call them. The ruler, I guess. Yeah, we're making a ruler which will indicate the speed that we're doing. Now the technique we're going to use is going to use the array, and we're going to be using what else are we going to be using? We're using the array, and we're going to be using curvature, and we're going to get it to follow a circle, and you'll see that in the video. I was quite happy with myself when I worked this out. Now I did mess up my 3D model a little bit. You see I've just made a big long rectangle. The idea is to made a little rectangle, but made it twice the size, kept the measurements perfect. You see me now trying to make the measurements to a precise number, and the reason why I want to do that is because ideally you also make the radius fit to a 270 degrees around the circle, and then when it comes to doing the code will work perfectly, especially if I was to do these by 10s and make the sizes by 1s or something like that, and then the space in between is also a 1, and then would you make it half? So yeah, make the thing a half, then you make the space a half, and then when you do 10 it would end up as a, like if you do it in centimeters, you know what I mean? So you do half a centimeter for the space, half a centimeter for the hole, and then you'd have that would be like a centimeter total. So when you do 10 it would be 10 centimeters across, and then when you do 270 degrees it would always work out correct, the mass, you know what I mean? Obviously the speed would be different, but you put that into the code anyway. So what you see me doing now is I've done the 10, and I've realised my spacing isn't perfect, and I'm just blagging it, because you have to stretch it to make it right. So this is when I think, oh, so if I just duplicate the size I've got, put it next to it, and then take the size down, so I'm only going 1 to 1, it works out perfectly fine. So that's what you're watching me do now. It was a bit of trial and error. We obviously decided to, that's what I did first. I did an array of 10, and then we bake the multiplier, so basically the array's been made, and then we can alter all of them rather than just one of them. And then I grabbed the first one and made it longer, so then we ended up with, and then I know in the middle one we made that longer as well, so then we end up with a nice start of a ruler. You see the shape coming along now? Now it's not going to obviously be all sticking out, we're going to stick it through the ground, through the glass, so it's just sitting there a little bit. I really don't know. Oh, so I just put my material on it. I don't know how to address this for you guys. It's going to be a long video, put it that way. Now, do you want me talking all the way through these sort of videos? Because this is the first sort of time I've done this narration over a lot of footage that I've already created. I'm going to try and throw in some B-rolls as well when I re-listen over myself talking. Oh, the worst part of editing. And then throw in some extra bit of candy while we're talking away. Hopefully to try and keep it a bit interesting, as it's going to be such a long video. Or should I have maybe sped up the video and talked less? Or should I just have some gaps when I'm not talking? What's the sort of style you'd like, people? Because, I also want to try and get some interaction with you down in the comments. What sort of props should we make next? This guy's a lunatic, who gave him a camera, and a microphone, that sort of comments. Feel free, even if you just want to throw in a emoji to show your love for this prop, that'd be amazing. And I have put a post out saying, if you enjoy this sort of stuff I do, it is all going to be for free. Feel free to also share it around with your friends. Jump over some discords, share my little post saying, hey, this guy's making some clusters, they're coming to automation soon. Because we all know we got a lack of clusters in automation, ones that we can edit as well. Like if you're seeing this one, I make a miles per hour dial set, and I will be also making a kilometer per hour. I hope we got that right when I wrote it down. Kilometer per hour? It's kph as well, isn't it? Oh, I hope it's done that fine. On the dials, so you can change the materials and have the settings that you want. And most of the dials can be changed. So all the glass, I think, is the same color, apart from that middle piece you see is orange. That's a different colored glass. And then all the back plates, they're going to be different. So the center one, you can have a different color. The two main ones, they could be a separate color, and the two little ones, they could be a separate color if you wanted to. We obviously probably should have I'm going to have to do that, aren't I? I'm going to have to make a little turbo cluster somewhere as an extra modification. That'll have to be in a future one, though. That's not going to be done anytime soon, I bet. Oh, this job was just a fiddly thing. It never works out exactly how you think it's going to work out, but I do guess the degrees. I don't know how to put like a little compass on this yet. When I work out how to do that, the next mod will be a bit more accurate. But it should be close enough for now, as the needles will be the right distance apart. It's just going to be the length that might be a bit of a tricky one to work out, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So yeah, at the moment in real life status, just because I don't know if I can just keep talking about me making this thing constantly, I'll jump over to real life stuff here and there as well. Why not? Maybe this video can be the cluster and the manica. Stories and foes of what to do. Yeah, it is a beautiful watching that array happen, isn't it? You just add it on and it just looks so uniformed and nice when you do it. It's so beautiful. Yes, so real lifetime. I took down a shed and a bike. What would you call it? A bike cover, bike port? I don't know. Like a little roof with bikes going in the back garden, just to build an extra bigger shed. So that's been my life for the last few days, as well as making this mod in the in-between times. So now today I've got to go out there in the garden and make good. By that I mean clean. The whole place is a mess. The shed has only got a base at the moment, the new one, not the one I took down. So I need to probably put some walls on that if I can be bothered today. It is a Sunday, a day of rest and a day of talking to your computer, it seems. Why I make the rev gauge now. You can tell the speeds on the right and the revs on the left. I haven't got them switched round. There's a lot more work. I don't think you guys need to be that picky which side your revs on or whatever. I'm sure you can live with it the way it is. But yeah, back to real life stuff. Sheds. My studio's a shed. It's more of a summer house. It's not a shed. I just call it a shed because it's made out of wood. So yeah, fun times. That's going to be me in between the recordings, because we're only 17 minutes into the video. Thank you very much if you've made it this far. Pat on your back and a pat on mine for somehow keeping you here that long. And we've got another 40 odd minutes to keep rambling on to you guys. So in between times of talking, because I can't do the whole stint in one go, I'm going to be tidying up my garden. So hopefully that was a bit of fun information for you. Other real life stuff. My car's falling apart. I need to buy a new car. I drive a Toyota Corolla 98. So yeah, it's not the cool one. It's not the rear wheel drive one. It's just a front wheel drive, but it looks cool. Some people point in and go, hey, it's a cool car, it's fun. It's my little workhorse. I paid like hundreds of pounds for it. And I've used it for the last 5 years as my pen and decorating car. And it's a trooper. Toyota Corollas, man. You can't go wrong. What a car. I feel sure I've run that thing out of oil and coolant, and it still kept going. I'm not sure how that's even possible. But obviously I've given it a service since then. It's doing okay. Thank you very much. Let's go sip my tea. Sorry. I love tea. So that's my car, my little Corolla. But I need to upgrade to like a little van or a big van. I also do kids entertainment as a juggler. I do juggling. I may have to do some in real life videos for you guys, show you my other skills that are games to me. I think juggling. Would you say that, guys? Would you say juggling balls and devil sticks and clubs and, you know, doing all the circus skills? I think they're games. They should be allowed in this video, this site, shouldn't they? ManicGamingGuy. It doesn't have to be just computer games, does it? It can be any sort of games, even in real life games. I think I'll do some of that stuff at some point. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see some of my juggling skills. I'm not too bad, I tell you that. I got some fun things I can do with my balls. I'm very good at tossing them in the air, and then giving them a good fumble and round and chucking them. I'll move on now. So if you're the kind of person who wants to make some mods for automation, I think go for it. Probably don't start as complicated as I did with some clusters. There's a lot of finicky detail. And I would also say recommend learning Blender first. If you don't know how to use Blender, then you're probably going to be up Poops Creek, I think, something like that. Yeah, because it's Blender itself takes probably a little while to learn, but Blender is so fun. Once you know what you've got doing-ish, you can always go over to Google. There's lots of shorts on certain things. It's learning the name of stuff. Like if you wanted to round something off or smooth a file, or, you know, certain terms. If you find a term and you can Google it, you'll be able to do Blender most of the time. Some of the stuff I'm like, wait, how do I do that again? And I just quickly Google it, and I'm able to do it again. So yeah, learn Blender if you're going to try and do some automation funness, and then you've got to learn a little bit of Unreal. The Unreal stage actually wasn't that hard. It took me 4 or 5 attempts watching the same video over and over, but I think I've got most of it down now. But I know what video to keep clicking on if I need to reference it and do it properly. I've got it in there working anyway, so that's a start. I just need to probably learn materials a bit better. I can now name them in... Oh yes, I actually found another YouTuber that had the same problem. Filming86. We had a little chat over on the video. What is it? Rooster? Hard Rooster or something it's called? We had a little comments back and forth because he had the same problem about 4 years ago. And then there's a website you've got to go on, and then I read a bit of paragraph saying it's got to be called this, or it's not going to be working this. It's all to do with the code, basically. It had to be called panel or glass underscore whatever number. The number could be X amount, up to you. And then, yeah, that's how you do it. You make a new material and call it that. So that works out. That was quite fun talking to Philman over there. Hopefully he gets to have a little look at my mod, because I know he's a fun modder himself. And as long as I get his little pad on the back, or someone, you know, in that sort of class, that'd be nice. That'd be good. I just realised there's probably a different way I could have done this. No, sorry, ignore me. I'm just looking at me making more dials and stuff. I do also want... this is me making like the little gauges to the left and right for the fuel and... what else? The temperature. I think this one ends up becoming the temperature and the fuel's to the side. Maybe the other way around, who knows. But that comes out alright. That does. I think I had to make it twice. I think I make it too big the first time. I had to make it a bit thinner the next time round. Because obviously it's in a circle, but then you have to try and make it look right still. And that wasn't quite right from the get-go. So yeah, we have to redo that. So, that's one in life chore done. Still plenty more to go on though. I just built a wall for the storage shed. It's taken me a couple of hours, and now it's starting to rain, so I think it's time for a break. I also need to find a drill bit amongst the mess that I have in this room, where I just bunged all the tools, and now I have a huge pile to go. Oh my days, is that my drill bits? I think I just found them. This is it. Oh yeah, that was easy. Happy days. Trust me, that shouldn't have been that easy. Right, back to seeing what I'm doing in Blender. It looks like to me I've got most of the core pieces in now. And we're probably going to be doing the very hard and tedious bit, which is the lettering and numbers. So sit tight for that one. It's a different sort of process. It's the first time I've done some letters in Blender. It's not too hard, I guess. I kept it simple for myself. It was when it come to, well, you'll see it later on when we come up to it. It looks like I'm just sorting out some of my lenses and the heights that they're all set at. I do come along later on, I believe, and adjust some things even more, because I didn't like the way they exported. That's to come later on, so stick around. Please. If you're really enjoying the video, because we're now 25 minutes into it, do feel free to hit that like button and possibly subscribe so I make more content like this one. So, we started off in Blender straight away making this, but obviously there's a few steps before this point they had to take in consideration, and that is the installment of other programs, not just Blender itself, for you to be able to do this. One, you probably going to want to own Automation, the Car Combi Tycoon game, which is not called anymore for some reason. And also you're going to want Unreal Engine, which is quite a fun thing, that's for sure. You want the version 4.27. You want to keep the version the same as Automation's version. The build, it relates to what build they use in Unreal or something like that, not too sure. And also we're going to want the SDK file from Automation. Oh look, we started doing the text now. And that is found in Steam. You have to find the tools drop down thing. That is not where it shows in any other people's videos. It's a new drop down link. You hit the check button for tools. Lots of other things show up for other games as well. But in Automations there's a thing you can download there. It's called the SDK. And then you use that to open up in Unreal. And that's like your starter file before you export the finished product. You know what I mean? Before you finish the game. So you're going to want to find that as well. So there's a few steps you got to do before you even get to this. Like I said, I was on it's a hard rooster. He told me all the steps. That's where I learned all the basic stuff on there. If you guys do want me to do a bit more of a breakdown tutorial of how I would do it in my own little flavour and style of doing my tutorials, let me know in the comments, and then we'll do one. I reckon it's going to take maybe do it in 3 episodes, maybe 3 hour-long episodes, less than that. I can probably break it down even a bit more. We'll start with a really simple item. But you're going to want to have some skills in Blender. I won't be able to teach you all that sort of stuff because I'm still learning myself. If you want to learn Blender skills, go make a donut. If you don't know what I mean, type in how to do Blender tutorials for beginners and a donut will pop up. It's the most common thing that people use just to get used to the game. You want to make a few donuts, that's for sure. Anyway, you can see now we're doing the letters. You have to use an input text and then type your text with a tab button, so you don't get edit object anymore. You just get tab, and then you write the text out. And then when you've read the text out, you then have to convert it to mesh afterwards, so that you can edit it and add your triangles and things like that, and then make sure it shows up in Unreal. Just a little heads up. But yeah, so just checking out my detail now, make sure I like the way it looks. I think I'm mostly happy. Obviously it looks, like I say, with the colours, it doesn't look quite right. It's like, where's the wood texture, where's the leather texture? Well, you do that later on. Well, you'll do it yourselves in Automation when you download this file. There you can see me doing my numbers. I put them all around in 100s just to try and get some sort of rough spacing, and then I'm going to go through the numbers themselves and change them to what they should be. Some people maybe do less dashes and go up in 20s. In my car, you can see I'm going up in 10s just for no reason whatsoever. Then I can. This one is miles per hour that I'm sorting out. I don't think I've done it. No, I won't have done it yet. Later on, I'll be doing the kilometers per hour dials instead. That goes up to 220. But also, you can mix it up. If you've got a miles per hour car and you want that to do 220, you can put the 220 on there. Same as the revs. If you want your revs only go up to 7, not to 9, put the 7 one on there. You can mix and match. That's the way I've rendered it, and hopefully made it a bit more modular and useful for anyone to use. Well, I'm pretty sure what I'm doing now in Blender is just having a little look over, bit of fun tune on some things. That little dial thing, that's the one you twist to put the miles back to normal, or reset them back in the old school days. I'm pretty sure some new cars, some reason, still have them. So well, not new, but some not too old cars. And yeah, so I thought I'd throw one of those in. Wasn't too sure how long it has to be, but I think I've done okay on that size. Just to add a bit of a bevel to some of the details here, just to unsquarify them, just to make them a bit more nice to look at. I'm also going to add some shade smooth at some point, round off those sharp edges, so don't you worry. This one ends up looking a lot nicer than the other one. Little zoom in and out. Whee! On to the next stage, probably, which is I'm going to guess add in some other details for different regions of the world. So yeah, here we go, kilometers per hour. So we're going to be doing exactly what we just done all over again. So all the little red dials, the ruler, and then all the speedo numbers and the rev dials. We're going to alter all of those again. And you got to remember, all these are still in text form. apart from obviously the ruler thing. So it's quite a painful thing to have to do, but we got to do it. I'm just here now changing the details and the titles. At this point I don't know the process of actually picking materials. I'm just picking out materials, and when I've run out of panels of glass, I've been reusing ones I've already got. So then I realised, okay, there must be a way to make your own one. So I think I changed an original one, and I went, no, that's stupid. I've just changed one that's already is one. So that was not what I meant to do. What you better do is obviously make a new fixing material, but then you just call it panel 1 or panel 2, whatever number you've got up to, and then change the colour to so you've got a good reference of what's going on in Blender, and that's it. And when you get over to Unreal Engine, then you can go through all your materials again and select ones out of Unreal Engine that will transfer over into BeamNG and actually sort of work. But it's more of a texture thing, I find, with Unreal. You're going to be exporting glass, or you're going to be exporting like a leather, or you're going to be exporting like a metal or something, and it comes along with a texture, as I like to think. Because when I exported the glass, it had changed, even though I changed the material and automation, the glass effect was still there. So some things do get put in by Unreal, so you want to be careful what sort of materials there you choose. And then I find you export the automation from Unreal, and you just changing all the materials again anyway, so you probably could just skip the setting up of materials and just export it blank. But then I don't know if you get all your textures and roughness. I imagine that can come from when you pick textures and they come with their normals or their displacements, that sort of stuff. That it just puts it in automatically. But obviously if you want some sort of texture, you either have to probably put it in Blender, or like say choose Unreal or something like that. But I got lots to learn still. This is, like I say, my first mod that we're having a little talk through. Hopefully you're enjoying it so far. I think we passed the halfway mark. Good on you if you've got this far. Thank you very much. High five coming your way from me. I'll put it in the post. Hopefully I don't forget to stamp it. Anyway, back to the Blender talk. So what I'm doing now is adding a different material for the top half of the rev ruler, just so you can have the red line. So when you change your textures in automation, you can have your normal color and then your red color, which indicates your red line in it. Obviously you can obviously add some more font if you want in the right red line. Why not? That would be fun. Well, I had to do this twice. Obviously one for the miles per hour in petrol, and I've called the other one diesel because it only goes up to 7,000, so obviously you can change what you need to on there. I could go even more detailed and add maybe 3 or 4 different other textures. Maybe I'll do that in the future if this gets like highly rated and you guys like the subscribe button and tell your friends about this new mod, and then maybe I'll do one that has a huge range of textures. Not a huge range, because I don't want to go too crazy. When you come to modulate it, you don't want to be spending hours just doing all the textures. But yeah, to make it so you've got, at least got 2 or 3 different variations of what we can do. So what I'm doing now is obviously I'm copying the other ruler but resetting the measurements, because obviously we're not going up to 9 anymore, we're going up to a different number, but I didn't want to have a really short speedo rev counter, so I duplicated it, reduced it down to the amount of dials we want, and then stretched it back up. So all the measurements are still the same. They've got the right distance in between, and all you got to do is line the numbers back up differently, which it blew my mind when I figured it out. But there's going to be a lot of blend people out there probably know a lot easier way to do things. Like I say, when I come to line these numbers up, I do them by eye. There must be a way to get them to copy the ruler, but then also go up in numbers depending which one I choose. I don't know how to do it. There will be a way. It'll be in the geometry of sorting out things. It's not the sort of thing I plan to learn anytime soon, because it wasn't too hard to do by eye. So back to some in real life chat now, guys, as this is going to be the video about how I made my first mod for automation and some rambles from this old geezer. I am currently making a shed while doing this recording and talk through. I keep taking breaks here and there to go make cups of tea and then go throw some screws into some wood. We did start with a base this morning, which I finished yesterday, and I've now got up 3 walls. Yes, I'm doing a bit of a makeshift reclaim sort of shed thing where I'm using actual like fence panels and just screwing them together, which is basically the same sort of thing anyway. So yeah, that's just coming along nicely. I got another 2 more panels that I can put up full, and then I got to do 3 walls custom made because they're not standard size. So that's going quite well. And then obviously I've got to remember to put a door in there, because if I don't put a door in there, then I'm not going to be able to get into it, which would be quite good for security reasons, I guess. I might try and turn it into a little nook for the child as well. She's been moaning that I never made a second or third playhouse. I made her quite a few, obviously mucking about when she was little, but she's got bigger now. It takes more wood to make her one and time. So that was a thing. I might make a little nook for her to have a little chill out, make a little bench in there. Could put a window in and make it so it's a bit brighter, and her and her friends can chill out there if she wants to get out the house, beside the house for some reason. It's good to do. I know I'd like it as a kid. So that might be another thing to do. Smash some hearts in the comments if that was a bit hard melting. But Dad's got to do what he's got to do for his child. You know, he's got to build things. Especially this man who likes his shed stuff. He's got to build her a shed and let her enjoy the pleasure of having her in a little private place as well. So the automation mod is obviously coming along nicely. I'm just having a little look around, testing out things. I will be going back and forth. This is the first run through on Blender. Obviously when I export it to Unreal and then I export it to automation, I'm going to see problems. I see a lot of that later on when I'm just going back forth, back forth, just trying to perfect it. I know some of the textures show up underneath some of the glass, and some of the glass isn't working because it's not high enough and things like that. And like these little green things, I'm pretty sure I make them a bit higher because it's hard to get the needle underneath smoothly. So when we got all that jazz sorted out, we'll be moving on to another step, which is a step I was quite happy with. I did have to jump onto another tutorial, which wasn't too hard. I just typed in some information. I don't want to ruin it. I want to wait until we come up to it and you'll see what I do. So back to some more in real life chat, shall we? I'm currently sat in my studio. It's currently windy and a bit wet here and there, and the family are out, all of them, and there's me talking to myself in a computer, which hopefully someone ends up listening to later on YouTube. If that's you, say hello. Hi, how you doing? I hope you're having a beautiful day and enjoying this and thinking maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do that as well. Well, what am I making now? I'm making the little rings, and these are going to be like just a little bit of feature, basically. I want them to be glass, so you can light them up, and it'll be like a nice little extra touch. If you already are a YouTube follower of mine, you would have seen quite a lot of my posts recently of different stages of me trying to make this mod. Lots of you have been giving it thumbs up, so I've had to now make a video of me making one, and it came out really nice. I hope you guys do like the end result and feel like downloading it for yourself. Like I said, I do have some other fixtures I need to make for it. I'm going to make a little cover that goes over it, so you've got one that fits nicely. I'm going to make some dials, different sort of needles that go on there. Because the idea of this was to be a bit of a glass effect, so hopefully it looks more digital than it does analog. That was sort of the idea. Let me know if you think it looks digital at all. I know some of it looks analog, some of it looks digital, but I'm going to make analog and digital needles for them. You'll see what I mean later on when you see the pack in a different video. It won't be in this one, so make sure you subscribe and stick around for when I show you my packs, and then a breakdown of this being used actually in an automation car, and then, you know, hopefully at that point it'll be downloadable in Automation Workshop, which I've still not learned how to do yet, but I know there was a video out there because it was warned that there's a video out there to do, so I will be doing that. I will be doing that. Yes. How are we doing? So we're just sorting out some of the fine-tuned measurements. I think that's it. I've come back and I've made these dials smaller because I wanted to fit these rings in. So I'm moving some stuff around just to make sure it all fits in nicely. I could change the shape, the size of these letters. They are maybe a little bit big, but it is what it is. Obviously, you get the automation BeamNG lights that I would use in this car as well. You know what I mean? The ones that work in the dash. So your indicators, your hazards, your engine warning light. So I've made that big center bit all glass, so you can put the warning lights behind the glass still, so you can get some nice effects. So it's up to you how you translute it. You can make it fairly translucent, and the glass, they just show up, you know. That's basically what I went for anyway. Hopefully it works. I've zoomed out now, so yes, this is me on a new mission to make something cool. Now in my last dash I wrote the word Manic, which is cool, it's fine, it's a bit of a signature on there, but it was a bit too blatant. I imagine some people won't want the word Manic written on their dash. It might take away the illusion, having a big signature written across the front of it. So I thought, what about putting my logo on there? So I went and had a little Google, how to turn an image into a 3D thingamabob. Found one quite quick, easy video, about 7 minutes long. And then I went to go get my image, and I thought, hey, this image isn't quite what I want these days. So then I edited my image. I don't know if I'd show you that. I don't think I've done it yet, because I don't see the GIMP program open up at the bottom. By the way, little trick, if you've been watching this video so far, you can see how long it's taken me to do all this if you keep an eye on the bottom right of the time and date. And yes, that's like the giveaway of how long I've actually spent on this, because I've just been taking little clips here and there, which I thought I could just talk over and tell you what I was doing. But then I realised that's going to be too much hassle over 1 hour and something long, so I thought I'd throw some in real life rambles on there just to help keep the time going. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the video and my voice over at the top. Unfortunately, it's not my deep voice today because I've got a lot to tell you. I could also tell you some more in real life stuff. So I'm a painter decorator by trade. I enjoy making things perfect, but I don't enjoy having to go get to work. There you go, there's my logo. I do have to do a few things to get it to work, by the way. It didn't work as I wanted straight at the back when I wanted to try and get rid of the face and things, because I had to insert this picture and then you'll see it don't look quite right. So I had to go back into GIMP, re-edit the picture and send it back in. But we get there eventually, don't worry, it's in there. I am going to do some more of it as well, make it a bit more of a better 3D image, because it does go a bit sketchy, that's for sure. So yeah, decorating is fun, but as you can see, some of my passion lies in 3D modeling and making games. I just basically want to make stuff for everyone to enjoy, and people will go, hey, have you played that thing, that mod from Manic? Have you been on that? Oh, what, Rob? Yeah. I got all this. I'm subscribed to all his mods. You know, I just want to be that guy. Just want it. I like watching Spieler, make his BeamNG maps, and everyone knows him in the community as one of the map making goats. So yeah, I want to be one of those sort of people that make mods for everyone, and also for myself, because I'm getting fed up of making automation cards taking 16 hours. If I can put in 8 hours making a mod that I like, that I'll probably use all the time, and then it's going to make my cards a lot quicker and easier to make. And then one day we're going to learn how to do BeamNG modding, so we can take an automation car and give it working doors and things like that. You know, I'll need to work out how to make that little blue button. I'm pretty sure I can take a BeamNG car into Blender and separate all the parts, so you've got working doors and bonnets and stuff. I'm pretty sure Filming 86 has done similar things to that, so I'll probably, if anyone knows the video to watch that shows you how to make latches and stuff in a BeamNG car, there must be a way just to transfer it over into automation, because it's similar. It's very similar code, and basically BeamNG has to read it, not automation. So once it's exported, automation don't care anymore, and then BeamNG cares. So once you change some of the code, you know, bash bosh, you're gonna have some high quality automation cars that almost like dev quality BeamNG cars. Maybe one day, because I would like to also get some of my cars after making it in automation, export it to BeamNG and tidy up all the bodywork, because obviously all the fixtures don't actually cut out, they just make the panels invisible. So I'd like to fix all that sort of stuff, so it actually is a proper real car, then add some thickness to it and add some real panels to it, and that would be quite a passionate thing to do. And then when the car's made, you can then also export it to, like, I don't know, Assetto Corsa and other games like that. Now, well, we've made a good handful, why not? We'd make our own game. Who's up for that? So we make our own racing game with some, like, running around features, like a GTA, but based around being a racer, with some, I don't know, honest deeds that you can do to earn money, and some dodgy deeds that you can do to earn money, obviously giving you different scenarios. Like maybe honest deeds get some like jealousy from some guy, and maybe when you do the other side, you get like the cops chasing, you know what I mean? That'd be quite a fun game storyline to follow, I reckon. And multiplayer, because it will be like role-play sort of style. Rather than just racing all the time, you can have some role-play in there instead, which actually could be part of the campaign. So like when you do the single-player campaign, you could choose to do it online as well. So when you're trying to do something, rather than going up against AI, you're going up against a human person, and you've got to keep trying until you find someone that you can actually beat. That'd be quite an interesting game for sure. So I'm just saying, I'm back in Blender now. I was in GIMP earlier on, just doing some photo editing. There's another program which I know, which is quite a pain. You have to zero all these spiky bits. That's something else I had to Google. Look at the same video that I watched. Told me how to do that, so that was useful. Something like select all, and then 0 to 0, move to 0. I don't know. But whatever you don't know, you just have a quick Google. Hey folks. So now that's done, I'm shrinking it down because it needs to be smaller, because the gauges are a lot smaller than it makes it. And then we're going to put it over some glass and make it glass. And then I was going to make it a part of one of the fixtures, but I thought no, I'll make it its own little one, so you can turn this off and on. But I do like it. It's a nice little touch, nice little signature touch, so you know whose mod it came from, isn't it? So we can tell the video is going to be coming to an end in about 15-20 minutes. So well done to you for making it this long. Thank you. Pat on your back, sir, from me, because I appreciate everyone who watches my videos. And all the inputs that you guys give me in the comments or suggestions, they are validated. I also do have a Discord. Do feel free to go in the description to find all this other information, by the way, which you can then go on there and chat to me, and also chat to other fellow people that like this sort of stuff, and hopefully get it up and running and making it a little cool. There is like a still self-promo stuff you can do on there. There is lots of people that like to do their own cool cars, so do feel free to go say hello to them. Well, I don't know. I think so far this video seems to be more in real life sort of stuff than automation mod making, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. Even I've been rambling on about this and that. If you do think I should make a Q&A video, let me know, and we'll start some questions up in Discord or something, and we'll do a nice little one-to-one Q&A video, and maybe you guys can send voice clips in or something to make it a bit more interesting. Or, I don't know. What do you reckon we should do? Do we should do it, or should we just skip that old malarkey, or should we set a goal at 10,000 subscribers? We'll do a in-depth Q&A, or is it just not worth it? People are not into that sort of stuff anymore. I was going to do a studio tour, but I keep rebuilding the studio and changing it around. It was almost at a nice point I could show you guys, but then I filled it up with all my tools. So when I've maybe decided to stop messing about, you guys can have a nice little tour. Well, it looks like we're coming to the end of Blender fun for now. Of course I say for now, because we've got to export it, and we always know something's not going to be right. Like there'll be some visible mesh underneath a different mesh, or two meshes will be lined up perfectly so they don't actually work. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong when you're doing your Blender stuff. But right now, at the end, we have to make sure all the scale is set to 1, or the textures won't sit on it properly. And we also have to do other things. Our triangulates, that's what I'm doing now. For some reason I'm going for 1 at a time, but you can just highlight the whole thing and push Ctrl-T and triangulate all your circles. Otherwise it won't export and work. You need triangles. That's a thing apparently. Looking at the mesh now, it looks pretty cool. Obviously we've got to check the faces, make sure all the faces are the right way. We don't want to see any red at this point, or textures won't be working. That does look like we have some artifacts going on, which is not too much of a problem, because I'm going to make some different back plates for this with different covers, so you can have different varieties. If you don't want curved, maybe you want more squared, just so you can fit it in with the era of car that you're trying to make. Obviously all of this, it doesn't have to be shiny, you don't have to make it glass, guys. You can make it material and it will look like an old style set of clusters. It's up to you. You can get rid of the whole middle bit if you want, and just have this set up and then add your own other little extra bits. Up to you. The moderation is yours to control. Right, so we're going to be exporting it in a FBX file. It's always recommended that you make your own file group for your mods to go into so you can find them easier. Because when you export it from one place to another, it's going to be a different file, and you want to copy it and paste it into the right places so that it can be worked on. That sort of malarkey stuff's got to go on. So you also got to check the settings. There's certain settings that you got to have and make sure they're all done. So make sure you get that right, because things won't work. I imagine something would be wrong and broken, that's for sure. And then when you're all done with all that malarkey, all the fun details that are important that I didn't really explain pretty well, you're now in Unreal Engine, and you've got to set up stuff. You've got to set up a few files so that automation will read it properly. So basically what you're working on now, I'm pretty sure it's just like the automation main files, I guess. I'm not really dug into it, this is what I'm assuming, in Unreal. But to add a mod, we have to kind of use their facilities that they've given and made in Unreal so we can make the mods. And yeah, see, there you go. There's one export, and it's got some weird glass going on. I didn't know it export with that glass and keep it, so that's something we learned and had to redo. But we are now just changing all the materials and checking the panels and make sure they do say the right thing. I did mess up with one of them. I think it said area light or something like that. Didn't like that material. So try to stick to normal materials. I'd rather just stick to your standard glass, stick to your standard panel, standard steel, and hopefully it would export perfectly fine. But we do have to also make a preview picture in Unreal and set some families and stuff up. This is also where we can add other items in. It's this little area, and we have to add another bit that we're sorting out now, options wise. We have to add another one of those. It just has a slightly different set out, like a code, and the name is different, and that's it. But you can just basically copy and paste near enough. Then you got to do that for every time you add a new prop into your mod pack. You know what I mean? So you know when you click on a feature and it's got 20 features in there. That's what we're doing here, but we already done one. We would have to do this like 20 times with all these different buttons and previews and stuff, which is important for the game to work properly and the mod to look nice. The one thing I haven't worked out to do is how to rotate the preview picture. It ended up flat, but for now it does the trick. I get loads of warnings, by the way. Prop still works, so we're going with it, I guess. That's what modders do. If it looks like it works, it must work. So hopefully we do make a mod that is able to be shared, otherwise I waste a lot of time, which is not unusual for me. Oh look, I got a little flash of all my cool cars. So what we're doing now, people, ladies and gentlemen, is going over to automation, because we exported our mod, which took some file flipping around, which I didn't show in this, but trust me, it's something you have to do. Just have backups and stuff and things you can go over and rewrite. So there's two of my old boys, you see them? Or is that one of my new ones? No, that's two of my old ones that we see, that I've made previous. Mark 1 and Mark 2 of the gauges. See the sort of theme that I'm going for setup wise. And then we bring in the new one. Ooh, lovely. Let's have a look at this, shall we? Now this will have the wrong materials. We do need to set all the materials up, and for some reason I spin it around weirdly. Yep, okay, that's sort of what I do. But this is all about a trial and error, people. We've got to go back and forth now, just changing bits and bobs here and there. I think I went back and forth no more than 10 times. I hope, for my mental health anyway. But we're just going to watch me now. We'll just mess about, place it up, and probably realise my faults and change it to more different textures. Ooh, look at that quick transition there. Yeah, so I've already gone through the materials just to see what sort of look we're going for, what we can get. If you're getting dodgy reflections, you have to change the roughness of one of the materials. I did notice, I think the first time round, the two middle glasses to the sides, so not the very middle one, the medium-sized glasses, they were missing, they weren't done properly. So that's something I had to go back. And also we had to go back a third time because some circles were showing through. And also, if you can see, there's materials that aren't working properly, so we have to go back and sort them. But it is just the point now where we go through, we check things, and we try and make a mental list, if not write one down, because that would be a smarter option, of what sort of things we can do. Like, just have a little look at my little ManicGamingGuy there. I do like that little logo. It just looks good. It looks very scrumptious. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, just testing out the materials, make sure things work fine. I think I also changed the back plate a little bit so it extends down properly. Just the odd little touch here and there, just to improve it. And yeah, just look around, admire my work, I guess, before we jump on. and alter some more things and have a look around. So we're just admiring all Mark 3s, or Mark 1, 2, and Mark 3. Blah, 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 that was a bit of a tongue twister altogether. And then we showed the fact that we're watching YouTube channels to keep us busy, something like that. I have no idea, but yes, we were watching Hellish play some games. Why did I do that? That's a bit random. Of course, maybe I was thinking to myself, when you do your own editing, you do end up putting someone on to listen to as background noise. So I'll begin. You can tell I've been talking too long when I start not talking properly. So here we are again, back in Blender, going through all of the fixtures that we saw were broken and fixing them. Mainly giving them their own material name, ID, whatever you want to call it, so that we can alter it properly when it gets to automation. That seems to be the main problem. And there was just some materials that were overlapping a bit weird, so we sorted those out as well. We may have also made it a bit tidier every time we went back by adding a few extra details and just making sure we felt happy with what we're going to get and experience when we come to driving our cars around in automation. So it does look like we're actually coming up to the end of the video. Just about 5 more minutes left. So thank you very much if you got this far. If you've been a skipper, that's fine. I sometimes do it myself. I'm a fiend for it. And to tell you the truth, I've been rambling on about all sorts. Who knows if anyone stuck around for this video. If you did, maybe drop yourself a little pat on the back and drop in the comments, I stuck around, and then I'll appreciate you. I will appreciate you for that. But hopefully you like the look of the mod that we've made and are ready and excited for when we add more props and stuff that you can use with it, like I say, different covers and different shapes and different materials and things like this. Well, not materials, but different parts of the props. And you're going to be really excited, hopefully. I'll make them try and work as easy and best as possible. But there we go, there's another export of me doing it. Looking nicer each time. Not quite there, but it's getting there. So if you haven't liked and subscribed to the video yet, or write a comment, one of those three would be absolutely lovely. But a top tier person would be the one that maybe shares this video-ness. That'd be lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. I'd just like to give a big shout out to all my members and supporters over on at the Patreon and YouTube. It really means a lot to be this small of a channel and still have people, you know, pay to help boost my morale. It means a lot. Thank you very much, and I hope to please you all in the future with some more crazy mods. I know you're all looking for some more BeamNG.Drive and game mod stuff, but hopefully this goes hand in hand and you enjoy this just as much as you enjoy my custom maps. Again, people, if you'd like to have a go at my custom maps, feel free to jump over to my Patreon. If you want me to make more mods like this quicker and quicker and quicker, we need to get it to a point where I can leave my job and then I'll just do this sort of stuff day in, day out for you all, making content and making mods that are fun. Be sure I would love to do that as a career. I enjoy painting and making things look nice, but this is a way of painting, but also getting to make things and make things look nice. You know what I mean? So this is again a good time to say, jump in the comments, guys, and let me know what mods I should be working on next for automation. And this could become a fun thing. If I could work out easier and better ways to make videos of every mod I make, which keeps it fun and entertaining, I will do that, rather than trying to keep it, you know, an hour long. No one wants to watch me make a mod for an hour. Well, you might do. Filming videos about an hour long, but his is a lot more coding and a bit more entertaining and a bit more clever editing compared to mine. Mine is quite rudimental, to say the least. In the video now, we're just going back and forth, sorting out the odd little texture here and there that I'm not happy with. I think from now on, we'll probably just stick to the classic glass and panel. Like there is links in below, like you can go see the website that shows you how to do all this, the wiki. And there's also a gentleman who you can go watch do this live, a bit more step to step and in full detail. But then I might do my version of tutorials, which is a quick snipsy snap, this is what you're going to do kind of thing. If I can think of a formula that is not too long. But again, YouTube doesn't like short content anymore. It's gone for the short content, the 1 minute to 3 minute jobbies, and it's gone to the very long form content. So anything in between now, it seems, doesn't get played or shared as much, which is quite upsetting to say the least. Well, it looks like we're coming to the end, and I got about, I don't know, 50 voice clips to go through and make sure they're all working properly, coming through stereo, because at the moment I believe they're coming through mono. Hey, good old happy beans there. So I need to sort that out, add some music over the top. Like I said, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel where my music is, feel free, that'd be lovely, lovely, lovely. And also you can use the music yourself. Same for all my mods, by the way, if you want to use it. They are practically all royalty free, and I'm happy to keep all my stuff royalty free. With subscriptions, if people subscribe, I'll keep pumping out the material for you all to use. Isn't that very nice of me and very nice of you and the whole community? We are a lovely community, the car people. Now I've been wanting to go play some more No Hesse, but I think I need to buy tier 3 because it seems like that's the more fun map that everyone's on. Is it the 310 something or other? I don't know. Well, we do love driving. Like my new map in BeamNG, I would need to work out how to do some coding for games, and then we're going to be doing more of that No Hesse sort of style in BeamNG. So it looks like we're coming to the end of the clips I've got, but I probably need to jump over to now to automation. Yes, so over to automation, is it? Where we've got a little dummy car where I've been placing these props on in the bonnets, and there we go. Let's have a little fly around time. The finished product, so we had Mark 1, which I don't think was too bad for the first attempt. Then we had Mark 2, which was okay, still had some things that I wanted to fix. There's the cross different section there, not too shabby. And then we went to Mark 3, which yeah, it's not too shabby. I like it. You can obviously have your own different materials, but there you go, that's the finished product. I'm not going to show you all the different settings, like the different miles per hour and all that malarkey, because I'm going to save that for a different video for the people who really don't want to sit through an hour long just to see what this prop looks like and to hear all the information about where they can get it and all that. Because I'm hoping the next video I would have made some other props to go alongside this one, because obviously we do have some needles I need to install and put into the pack. And there we go. So yeah, we need to sort that out. I've got some other futuristic needles to throw in there. We also need to cover, like one of these sort of things. This one is not the right shape, so I need to make some of those work. And anything else that I feel would be beneficial to the mod pack before I then try and get it launched onto the workshop. That would be my first ever proper mod on the Steam workshop. Amazing, exciting times. So thank you very much for sticking around. Keep it real, stay safe and share that love. Bye bye.